Welcome everyone, back on the mat. My name is Renelle B, your instructor for today, and welcome to your Strength and Tone class. So for this class, you're going to need hand weights or filled up water bottles, as well as yoga blocks or a stack of books. And so today we're going to be working mainly on our glutes, and so we're going to get started lying on our backs. So you can come all the way down. And just take a moment here to land on the mat, maybe hugging the knees in towards your chest. And just rocking side to side, massaging through the low back. And then you have the option, if you don't have blocks, just to lower the feet down, separate the feet nice and wide, and then just draw the knees in towards each other. If you do have blocks readily available, you'll walk your feet hip width apart, heels towards the glutes, send the hips up, and then bring your block, your yoga block, just beneath or just in the center or at the lowest part of your sacrum. So kind of where your tailbone begins, but just slightly above that. And then your feet can also separate out wide and draw into the knees, come in towards each other, or you have the option of extending your legs out in front of you, making any adjustments so that you feel nice and comfortable. From here, everybody just bring your hands out to the sides. Walk your shoulders and shoulder blades behind the back, opening up through the chest. And then shut down the eyes. And start to land on your mat here. Making sure that your entire body is nice and soft as you release the areas of tension in this pose. Making sure that your forehead is soft, the areas between the eyebrows. Relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders, the crown of the head. Soften through the low back and the hips. And allow the knees to just relax. And the rest of your legs to feel nice and heavy. And as you soften in whatever variation of pose that you've selected for this morning, begin to become more in tune with your natural breath. So we're not adjusting the breath just yet, but just become familiar with how you're breathing this morning. Noticing the pace of your breath, the depth of your breath. Notice if you're breathing from the belly or in the upper chest area. If you're breathing through the mouth or the nose. And then do a little emotional check here as well, noticing how you're feeling this morning. Noticing if you have slight jitters from your morning coffee. Or maybe you're feeling nice and calm and relaxed, but awake. Maybe you're feeling a bit tired. And just noticing how you're feeling. And we're going to start to deepen our breath now. So exhale all of the air from your lungs. On the next inhale, breathe in through the nose, expand the belly out to the sky. Move the breath up the rib cage towards the collarbone. Hold at the top of the breath here for a moment. And then slowly exhale through the nose, softening the chest down first. And then slowly releasing the air out of your belly, drawing your belly button closer to the spine as you exhale. Hold at the end of the breath. And then inhale once again, expand the belly up to the sky as though you're filling up an air balloon in your abdominal area, and then the breath moves up the rib cage. Hold it at the top. And then exhale slowly. Release everything out. Hold at the end of the breath. Inhale. Hold at the top. And exhale slowly. Continue with this deep belly breath on your own, making whatever counts that help you feel nice and grounded. I usually do 5 counts on the inhale, 7 counts on the exhale, but you can lengthen that or shorten it however you please. And then start to cultivate an intention today for your practice. Maybe setting an intention of how you want to feel throughout your practice, or how you aspire to feel after practice. And so questions that you can answer are why you're here on the mat today. What's your goal coming on the mat this morning? Or if you prefer, you can also dedicate your practice to someone, adding more meaning that way. And take 2 more long, deep breaths here. Slowly getting ready to start our practice, opening up the eyes. If your legs are extended and your hips are supported by a block, walk your feet back towards your hips. And then I really want you to activate your core. Tuck your tailbone under slightly as you do this. Lift the hips up using your glutes, and then move the block away from underneath you, and then descent down 1 vertebrae at a time, moving nice and slowly, giving your spine the time to really take in this stretch that it's just been in for a few breaths here. You can separate your feet out, and we're all meeting here with our knees together, feet out wide. From here, everybody reach your arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, and draw the palms up towards the top of the mat. Getting a nice deep stretch here. If you yawn, that's great. Should feel really good. And slowly bring your hands back down to the sides of your hips. Bring your knees stacked over the ankles as you walk your feet hip width apart. So we're going to start our warm-up here. I want to make sure that you guys are on the right footing, so you'll want to walk your heels towards your glutes as much as so that your fingertips touch the backs of your heels. From here, if you have a block, place it in between your thighs on the long edge. Squeeze your block with your thighs. If you don't have a block, you can also intentionally engage your inner thighs by squeezing the muscles of the inner thigh. So you're activating them with an imaginary block, so to speak. From here, ground your palms into the mat, draw your shoulder blades back slightly. Okay, from here, tuck your tailbone under so that your low back is pressing into the mat, and then inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips, come back down, always squeezing that imaginary block or the actual block if you have one. Tuck the tailbone, inhale, lift the hips up. Squeezing your glutes the whole time. Exhale, slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, tuck the tailbone, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower everything down. So you'll notice if you're working with a block that you really get that added mind-body connection, because having that block there really facilitates a deeper kind of body awareness than if you don't. But if you don't, it's still not that big of a deal. Keep lifting the hips with every inhale, moving at your own pace now. Squeezing the glutes the whole way up and down. And being really mindful of that initial tuck of the tailbone on the inhale as you flatten your back to the mat. That really helps to engage your low back and glutes for a healthy pose. Keep going. On the next inhale, you have the option to start incorporating an arm movement. So your arms are going to reach back behind you as you send the hips up towards the sky. Exhale, lower hips and hands back towards the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Really syncing the breath with the movements here. Really activating the glutes, getting them awake. And by doing these targeted little muscle exercises, you're really targeting and waking up that muscle. You're telling your glute, okay, we're gonna work you out today. And so when you pre-activate a part of your body like this, it really wakes up and begins to engage properly throughout the remainder of our practice. Take 5 more breaths. Two more. On your next inhale, lift and hold your hips up to the sky. If your hands are at the head, bring them back towards the mat beside your hips. Send the hips a little higher. Squeeze your block or squeeze your inner thighs. Lift the hips a bit higher and hold it here. Breathe in. Squeeze your glutes. Lift the hips a bit higher. Squeeze your inner thighs. Take 3 more breaths here, guys. Really soften through the other parts of the body. Relax the jaw, relax the forehead, soften through the chest and the shoulders. Take 2 more breaths. Keep lifting. Last breath in. Exhale it out, lower the hips down. Release the block from in between the thighs if you have one there, and then hug the knees in towards your hips. I'm all over the place this morning. Hug your knees in towards your chest, and you can rock side to side once again if that feels good. From here, bring your hands to the backs of your thighs and start to rock and roll the length of your spine. Moving up and down, balancing on your sits bones before rolling back. Take 2 more rock backs. Last one. And then hold in your boat pose, draw your shoulder blades back, lift the crown of the head, separate your toes nice and wide, hold it here. You have the option to float your hands or maybe extend the legs out straight. Take 3 more breaths. Last one. Exhale it out. Release the feet back down. Great. Come into your tabletop position and grab your weight or your water bottle. You'll just need one at a time, and place it in the area behind the knee. So we're going to actively be squeezing that dumbbell or water bottle in this area. Stack your wrists, elbows, and shoulders in alignment, and knees under the hips. So you're really going to want to squeeze that dumbbell there so that it doesn't wobble off of the back of the knee. And then on the next inhale, you're going to kick up that left foot up to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in towards your chest, squeeze it towards your chest. Inhale, send that left knee high. Exhale, round in towards the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going with your own breath now, making sure that you have even distribution of weight in both hands and that your hips are squared to the mat. Keep your gaze down at the front of your mat, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. And again, you want to move your body with your breath. Your breath has strength to it. It really helps you out and pushes you to move and to keep going. It gives you extra strength. That's why boxers are so intent with their breath, and they use it. Keep going. We've got a few more. Take 5 more reps, 5 more breaths. Two more. Last one. Hold it here, lifting that left foot high. We're going to do little pulses here. Little micro movements up and down, 1 inch, up and down. Keep squeezing that dumbbell, don't let it fall. Keep going, squeezing that left glute, really targeting it. Take one more breath, and then lower down. Readjust your dumbbell if you need to, making sure that it's nice and tight. From here, we're going to kick our left knee out to the side as though we were dogs peeing on a fire hydrant. So you're going to lift it right up, squeeze the top, and then draw it back towards the knee. Inhale to lift, exhale, lower. And lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Inhale, exhale, keep going. Really keeping that left knee high. Working our outer hip. Keep your gaze down at the mat. Keep your shoulders squared. Even weight in both hands. Keep going. Take 5 more breaths. Squeeze at the top. 2 more breaths. Last one, hold it at the top. Little pulses. Lift your knee up and down. Lift it higher. Take 1 more breath. And then lower the knee down. Great, remove that weight. Take a few cat-cows on the inhale. Drop the belly, lift the tailbone up. Exhale, round through the spine. Pushing the mat away from you. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale it out. Come back to a neutral spine. Grab hold of a weight. Place it behind the right knee this time. Really squeeze it there. Come back into your tabletop position. From here, kick that right knee high. Exhale, squeeze it in towards your chest. Inhale to kick it up. Exhale, knee to chest. Keep going with your breath. Always lifting your knee nice and high. Squeezing your right glute at the top. Great. Maybe shut down the eyes if you need added energy and focus. Keep going. Take 5 more breaths. Really lifting that knee high. 2 more. Holding at the top of the last repetition and giving me little pulses here. Lift that knee nice and high. Great. Keep breathing, keep that nice long breath going, and take 2 more. Little pulses, 1 more breath. Lower that right knee down. Make any adjustments, making sure that it's nice and tucked in between the knee. And then coming into our side hip openings. Inhale, lift that right knee up to the sky. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep going. Really squeezing at the top there. Keep going, moving in sync with the breath. Give me 5 more. Lift and hold, little pulses. Keep squeezing that right glute at the top. Take 2 more breaths. Slowly lower that right knee back down. Move the weight from underneath you. Come back into a few cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. Exhale, round through the spine, separating the shoulder blades. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. On the exhale, curl your toes, send the hips up, down dog. Great. Pedal out the feet here. Shift the hips side to side. Do whatever feels good in the body. Lift and lower the heels. And then I want you guys to send your heels down towards the mat. On the next inhale, lift the heels off the mat, coming onto your tiptoes. Exhale, lower the heels to the mat. Inhale, lift, coming onto the balls of the toes. Exhale, lower the heels back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bend the knees generously. Look forward and step to the front of your mat. Fold over the legs. You can stay folded here, shifting side to side, releasing through the low back and the backs of the legs. If you prefer, you can bend the knees slightly, maybe grab hold of opposite elbows, or interlace the hands behind the neck. Maybe find stillness at this time, really relaxing through the spine, letting it all go, sending your weight into the heels. And then everybody, bend your knees even more so that your belly rests on your upper thighs. Release the hands if you're grabbing hold of the back of the neck or elbows. And then really ground down through the feet. Start to make your way up to stand, moving one vertebrae at a time. And let your head be the last thing to come up, moving like a rag doll. When you arrive, draw the shoulders up and back. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, palms face forward to the front of the mat. From here, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding deeper. Grab hold of your hand weights. Bend the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, release the hands out to the side, lower down with control, folding over the legs. Halfway lift as you inhale, nice flat back. Exhale, fold deeper into the legs. Bend the knees, inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold with control. Halfway lift on the inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper into the legs. Ground down through the hands, step your right leg back, pivot your right heel so that your right toes point to the long edge of your mat. Your right hand will pull you up. Warrior two. Widen your stance if you need to, hands come out to the side, little pulses here. You want to make sure that your left knee is tracking over to the left baby toe side of your foot. Little pulses up and down. Inhale, lengthen that left leg. Bring your left hand to the front of the mat. Left hand comes down to your shin, right hand sweeps up. From here, lower that left weight off onto the mat so your left hand is free. Your right hand is going to lift an inch up and then it's going to lower an inch down. Inhale, lift an inch. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep going. Working our obliques here. Two more breaths. Last one. Bend that left knee, reverse your warrior, bring your right hand back, left hand reaches behind you. Inhale, lower the hands to frame your left foot. Pivot your right toes to face the front of the mat and then step it in halfway. From here, grab back that left hand weight and fold over that left leg. You're going to now square off the hips, so you're going to draw that left hip back, right hip forward, and then make your way up to stand. So grab hold of your hip bones here, really making sure that both of your hips are pointing to the front of the room, and you also want to make sure that your feet are hip width apart, so separate tracks with the feet. Left hip back, right hip forward. Stand nice and tall, reaching the crown of the head high. As you exhale, keeping your hips squared the whole time, squeezing your left glute on the descent. Come to a flat back position. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, lower halfway. Nice flat back position. Inhale, lift it up. Great. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, squeeze that left glute to bring you up. So you'll notice your hips want to do all kinds of funky things in this pose. They want to kind of shift around. So your job is really to stay focused on what your hips are doing. Lengthening on the flat back as well. Okay, so from here we're going to lower down, release the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then come back up. Exhale, lower down with the hand weights, flat back, squeeze at the top, and then come back up. Exhale, lower down, release the hands. Inhale, squeeze, and then come back up. Exhale, lower, lift, and come back up. Squeezing the glutes on the lift. Lower, extend the arms out, squeeze the shoulder blades, and come back up. 2 more like this. Come back up. Last one. Lower. Lower the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades, come back up. Okay, come back to your flat back position. Keep sending that left hip back, right hip forward. Lower the hands, little pulses here with the arms. Inhale, exhale, squeeze at the top. Inhale, exhale, squeeze at the top. Keep going. Keep sending the hips back. 2 more breaths. Last one. Great. Lower the hand weights. Bring your blocks, if you have them, fold over that left leg. If you want a deeper release, you can float the left toes off the mat. If you don't have your blocks, you're just coming high on the fingertips. Making sure that your hips are squared. And just fold over that left leg. Take 1 more breath. Lower the left toes down. Step that right leg back. Step back into your plank pose. Shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your toes to touch. Sweep the left leg up. Bend the knee and stack open the hips. Square off the hips and then draw your left knee in towards your chest on the exhale. Inhale, send that left heel high. Twice more. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, knee to nose. Look forward, step forward to the front of the mat. Step your right foot forward and fold. Bend the knees. Bring your hand weights close by. Bend the knees, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale to fold, grab hold of the hand weights. Bend the knees, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, release, slowly with control, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding deeper into the legs. Step your left leg back once more, and then pivot your left toes to point the long edge of your mat. Your left hand is going to pull you up, warrior 2. Okay, wrists and shoulders are in alignment. Send your right knee forward and track it to the outer edge of your right foot. Little pulses with the arms. Great, keep going. One more breath. Exhale it out. Lengthen that right leg. Reach your right hand to the front of the mat. Lower that right hand to your shin. Release the hand weight. Left hand stretches up. From here, we're just going to lift our left hand an inch and then lower it down. Release that right hand so it's floating. Lift on the inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep going. Three more breaths. Last one. Bend through the right knee. Left hand comes to the back of the thigh. Right hand sweeps back. Reverse your warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands to frame your right foot. Pivot your left toes to face the front of the mat. Step your left foot in halfway so that the left heel comes down. Making sure that you've got separate tracks with your feet. Grab hold of your hand weights and come up to stand. Once again, same thing on the other side. Bring your hips forward to the front of the mat. Lengthen through the crown of the head. We're going to start right away. Exhale. Lower down halfway. Squeeze your right hip to pull you up. Exhale, flat back. Inhale to lift. Exhale, flat back. Keep that left hip pointing to the front of the mat, sending that right hip back the whole time. This is really engaging for the glutes, building really great positioning with our muscles. So you're building muscle around proper alignment here. Keep going. Take two more descents down with your hands on your hips. This time, lower the hands down, descend down. Draw your shoulder blades together, release them back down and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up to stand. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise up to stand. Keep going. Lower. Draw the shoulder blades to touch. Release. Come back up. Keep going. Take two more breaths like this. Keep sending that left hip forward the whole time, coming to a really nice flat back on the descent. Last one, we're gonna hold it here. Squeeze your shoulder blades up and down now. Squeeze them up, lower down. Keep sending the crown of your head to the front of the mat. Nice flat back, keep going. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Lower the hand weights. Come onto your fingertips. Fold over that right leg. Once again, bring your blocks if you have them. Use your tools. Send the right hip back, left hip forward. Maybe hover the right toes off the mat. Folding over that right leg. Move the blocks away from the sides of your feet. Fold a little bit deeper, and then step your left leg back more. Step your right leg back so you come into your plank pose. From here, shift forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to your down dog. Bring your toes to touch. This time the right leg sweeps up, bend the knee and stack open the hips. Square off the hips, exhale, draw your right knee to your chest. Inhale, send it back up. Twice more, exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, send it back up. Step your right foot in between the hands. Look forward, step your left foot forward, and fold over the legs. Bend the knees, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Okay, so we're going to do one last exercise here. You're going to want to block or a stack of books, but if you don't have any, that's totally fine. You're going to place your block on the lowest angle so that you can stand up on it. And you'll notice that your foot is now floating freely. From here, you can still do this without a block. You just have to work a little harder. So from here, you're going to bring your hands on your hips once again. You're going to then, if you're not on a block, it's a little bit tricky to do the low part, but you can still do the high. So by low, I mean you're going to drop your left hip down, send your right hip out to the side. So you're hovering your left hip now a little bit lower to the ground, and then you're going to actively squeeze that right hip to lift that left leg high. So your left hip is now pointing to the sky. Exhale, lower that left hip back down. Send that right hip out. Inhale, squeeze the right hip, send that left hip high. So we're kind of doing like right hip crunches. Moving side to side. Now if you don't, keep going if you're on the block. If you don't have the block, you're just going up and down. Up and down. So you can still work this exercise. You just get a little extra mobility with that block because you're going actually a little lower than you normally would if you didn't have the block. So keep going. You should start to feel a little burn happening in that right hip. That's great. Find a point of focus. This is really good exercises to do to strengthen in our standing balance poses. Really working that outer right hip. Keep going, 3 more. Really focus on lowering that left hip as much as you can, getting that full extension of that squeeze up. Last one. Okay, your right hip should be on fire. Now we're going to play around a bit and just move that left leg around as much as you can, getting all funky, really working your arms out. Get a little crazy. Do random things with your body. And this is just working our balance. It's okay if you fall out of it. Okay, come back to center and release. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Come into figure 4 position, stacking your right ankle over your left knee and send the hips back. Hands to heart. Release through that right hip. Great. Take 3 more breaths here. Send the hips lower and then come back up. Back on the other side. So now your left foot is going to stand on top of the block. Find your footing, find your balance, and then once again, send that right hip low. Send the left hip out to the side, and then draw that right hip high. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Once again, if you're not using the blocks, you're just doing those little ups and up and up. If you're using your block, you get that added benefit of the more extended version of this pose. Really focusing on the descent and then squeezing up at the top. And you want to move with control too. Keep going. And you might notice one side is a little bit stronger. For me, my left hip is a little weaker. And that might come across as being a little less balanced because you have a little bit less strength when it comes to this position. Take 3 more reps, really working on that descent down. Bring it back up, 2 more. Last one. Come back to a neutral position. Let that right foot fly. Let your hands go crazy. You can come forward. It's okay if you come out of balance. This is really just building more stability in that left hip. Keep going. Dancing around. Whoop. Like I said, we're having fun. It's okay if you fall out. Don't take it so seriously. The crazier the moves, the better. Okay, come back to center and then drop down. Once again, bring that left knee in towards your chest. Cross the left ankle over the right knee, hands to your heart, send the hips back. Release through that left hip. Take 2 more breaths here. Slowly come up to stand, release the left leg, come to lie back on your backs, hugging the knees in towards your chest. Rock side to side for a nice little release. Bring your left knee in towards your chest, extend that right leg out. Little circles with that left knee. Moving in one direction, waking up that hip. Reverse directions. And then bring your left knee to the right side of your mat, coming into a twist. Left hand comes out to the side. And draw that left shoulder blade down. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the left leg. Inhale, right knee to chest. Little hip circles here, moving in one direction to start. Reverse. And then draw your right knee to the left side of your mat, right hand opens up to the side. Keep drawing that right shoulder blade down at the mat. And then come back up. Draw both knees in towards your chest. Grab hold of the outer edge of your pinky toe side of your foot. Send the heels up to the sky. Knees and heels are in alignment. Come into your happy baby pose by drawing your knees in towards your sides of the body here. Making sure that they're at a 90-degree bend and that your low back is pressing into the mat. So you can actively press your low back into the mat here. Then if it feels good, you can rock side to side, massaging through that low back, releasing through the hips a bit more. Or maybe you just want to find stillness and release like this. And then take 3 more breaths here in your happy baby. Maybe draw the knees in slightly more. Toes point a little bit higher to the sky or to the back of the mat. Last breath. Release your feet back together. Hug your knees in one last time. Maybe lift the head and chest. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then release, open up into our Shavasana pose, our final resting pose for the day. Allow your feet to take up nice space here. Your feet can come off the mat. Take space with the arms out to the side. Draw your shoulders and shoulder blades behind the back, lifting through the chest. So your upper back should feel nice and flat. Natural lift in the low back is totally fine here. And then come back to the natural breath. And just notice how you're breathing now in comparison to the beginning of class. Notice how your emotional body feels now and compared to the beginning of class. And then let that go. And then just working on softening each part of the body, keeping the eyes shut and resisting the urge to move or fidget around. Starting from the crown of the head, soften that area. Relax the jaw, soften the eyes, soften the temples, soften the jaw. Moving the tongue away from the roof of the mouth, maybe parting the lips. Relax the shoulders. Soften the chest, the low back, and the hips and glutes. Let your hips get nice and heavy here as you soften them open. Soften through the inner thighs, the knees, ankles, and feet. Soften your entire body into the ground below you, feeling completely supported to just let go. Letting go of control, letting go of any tension, and finding more peace in your body. Now, before we start bringing movement back into the body, just bring all of your awareness to your hands and palms. Just seeing if you can feel any sensations there in your hands. Maybe it's tingling or heat, pins and needles, whatever sensations arise. As we quiet our minds, sensations of the body like these become a little bit more present. And holding on to whatever sensation that you can gather here, whether it be a nice breeze on the fingers, start to wiggle your hands and fingers. See if you can hold on to those sensations as you do so. And then move your toes and ankles. Shift your head side to side. And then with as little effort as possible, roll over to one side in a fetal position, drawing your knees in towards your chest and using your arm as a pillow to support your head. Keep the eyes shut here for a moment. And then take the time in your fetal position to cultivate an intention for the remainder of your day. Asking yourself what your body, mind, spirit need at this time. Whatever comes to mind first, grab hold of that and thank your higher self for bringing you this message of what it is that you need for your health and well-being. And then set an intention that draws that into your space. So maybe take the time out of your day today to do whatever that initial thought was that came to mind from your higher self. And schedule some time for yourself today to accomplish this task. And then make your way into a seated position with your hands in front of the heart. Bowing your chin in towards your chest. Getting here nice and slowly. Keeping the eyes shut. Take a moment now to cultivate gratitude in your heart for all the blessings that you have in your life. And cultivating a sense of self-love. And thank yourself for taking care of your health and wellness today. Thank yourself for nourishing your body through exercise and breath. And remembering to always be gentle with ourselves in any point of transition in our life when we're integrating new habits, new self-talk, new beliefs. These things sometimes take time. To always be gentle with ourselves and always be loving with ourselves. And with this love in our hearts, you can choose to send love out to anyone you choose, whether it's someone in your family, people in your community, country, or around the world. And as we share our love with others, we are reminded of how connected we are. And the more that we can love, the more love that is received back, and the higher that we all are lifted. And so bow your chin in towards your chest. And we'll close off our practice today by joining the knuckles of the thumbs to the forehead and bow forward to say Namaste. I hope that you have all enjoyed this practice today on the mat. As always, I'm sending you all so much love and light your way, and I'll catch you in our next class. Have a great day, guys. Bye.